Hey guys, so today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a hyperlink document in Google Slides that you can put onto your Google Classrooms um, or Microsoft Teams or whatever platform you use for your students in order to complete work and it's really simple and really easy for them to navigate. I use this in my classroom even before distance learning happened, and they were able to go through, and it was nice because I teach fourth grade and kids can kind of go through these different options pretty easily once they kind of figure out your parameters and your rules for it. So this is an example of one that I made over service animals. So as you can see here, I have 4 bubbles. This one here is a service animal Nearpod that I created. So what the kids could do is they would open up this document in Google Classroom, and you can either go to the link by clicking in the bubble and then clicking the hyperlink here, or the kids can present it and then click on the link here where the link is hidden. Either way, it works just fine. This is a great way to introduce kind of the topic for students. In Nearpod, it's basically like a Google slide or a PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint that's interactive, and you can do some really cool stuff in it. It has a teacher-led option as well as a student-led option. So you can create things within Microsoft Sway and Nearpod, and it'll give some information. Kids can answer the questions that based on the information that you've provided for them. And then you can also do polls and things like that. It's a really cool resource, and I would encourage you guys to check it out. So after they learned a little bit more about service animals through the Nearpod that we did, then what I had my students do is that they had 4 options of service dogs that they could research. So there's a website called getepic.com, and it's an awesome free resource for teachers and students because it provides a bunch of different books all for free that they can read. And it shows you here, like, it has the age range, it has the Lexile measure, and you have different options of different reading. Like, you have a specific reading curriculum type group, and it has a specific way to measure the reading level. It has different options for that. You can also assign this if you upload your students into a GetEpic, but it's really neat because you can have the kids read through real books here and get some really good information. So after they choose their service animal, and a lot of times they went through all 4 of them looking through to choose, then what they did is they had to go and create a Google Slides on Google Classroom to present information that they learned about their service dog. Now, since I did this before distance learning, we went through the different categories, and I had them take physical notes, and we went through it together, kind of the process. But in this would be a really easy way for you to create like a template Google slide and then have your students answer the questions on each slide, kind of to focus in on what you expect for them to do. And then another thing that we did is a service dog interview, and this is whenever I integrated Flipgrid in this. And Flipgrid is a really awesome tool where students get to create a video that uses any sort of webcam, and it'll take a video of them speaking. And this is a really good resource for your speaking and listening standards, because you can even have kids reply or work in groups when it comes to Flipgrid. I know that I did that. I don't know if it has that within Flipgrid itself, but I had kids work together if you by chance are not doing distance learning. So it's really a fun resource, and the kids really like to do it because you can add emojis and writing and text and stuff over it, and it's really cool. So this is kind of the basic layout of how I make a hyperlink Google slide. It was really helpful whenever I was doing my my classroom learning, because my students could go at their own pace. Like if I wasn't able to be right next to them, they could go ahead and work on this during their writing time, and then I would pull small groups back to work on this. So I wanted to kind of show you guys how you can make one of these, because this is the standard layout whenever you have a Google slide. If you go over to this File button and then go all the way down to Page Setup, you can create a custom setup. So it's already standard at the widescreen 16:9 or 4:3. What I usually do is I just go ahead and I do a standard 8.5 by 11. Sorry. So this would be where I would type service dogs, and I can put that up here at the top. And then you could add a subtitle if you'd like to, so like some extra directions. You could say click on each of the options available and complete the assignments. The way that I made the little bubbles, it's pretty easy. I made one circle, and then you can put your whatever it is, your assignment that you'd like, just maybe your information presentation over service dogs. And then you can format it to make it a little bit cuter, or if you want it to be smaller or whatever. And then what I did is I copied and pasted it. If you hold your control button down and click a second object, it'll highlight both of them, and then it makes it easy. You can just create all of your bubbles like that, and then change the text inside as needed. So there's our information presentation over service dogs. Here is a list of service dog books. Create your own presentation, and then service dog interview. So once you have the basics of your hyperlink Google slide, it's actually pretty easy to add that hyperlink. If you right click, you can click the link button, and you can just paste in the link. So maybe I want to reference, let's see, maybe I want to reference this Nearpod. So what I would do is I would click up here in the navigation bar, or in the search bar, and I will copy that text using Control-C. And then when I come over here, I can right click, hit link, and then paste that in there using Control-V, and then it will, let's see, apply. So what you saw is it was linking it inside the text here, and I didn't want to do that because I wanted it to be whenever you clicked the actual bubble. So if you don't click inside the circle first and then click the link button, that's going to be the way that you're going to get that link in there. So again, don't click inside the circle, just right click, and then just going to go ahead and do this one here. So again, Control-C, link, Control-V, and then apply. And then you have your hyperlink Google Slides. Now, if you want to do what I did, you can go to that background button And the really neat thing is that you can do a Google image search and you can type in just about anything. That way you can put it in here. If you are doing the 8.5 by 11, it is better for you to find a picture that looks more portrait, going longer up and down than in a landscape. See, like if I did this one, it would distort the image quite a bit, so I'll show you what that would look like here. Okay, so that one is too large. So anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and choose that guy here. And then it'll go in the background. And then of course, if you want to make it fun in the elementary, this is what I like to do. I like to go through and change the font to make it a little bit more exciting for my students. They seem to really enjoy it whenever it's a little bit cuter looking. So you can go through and you can change the fonts here, and maybe you want the kids to really notice this part so they don't completely skip on your directions. You can go over here to this button and you can click the fill, and so that way it'll highlight it in the background so that it's kind of like the kids know that they need to be looking at that. And then of course you can change the colors of these two, so maybe make them a nice blue. And if you really want your words to stand out, you can always change the color of your font as well. So maybe I want it to be a white font so that it stands out against that blurred background. And there you have your Google Slides hyperdoc or hyperlink. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, or you can shoot me an email on my website. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that this helps in getting back to school.